Right, so that is now live streaming.
Hello world. We're both wearing
Hello.
McLaren tops.
We are. Right, I'm going to get some noise in my ears any second. Right, so that is, there we go, done. Okay. So we've got the chat up. At some point, I will actually improve the tech so that this is done a bit more seamless rather than just us doing like the pre-show bollocks.
Okay, just stuck here in shut up mode. I've got no XP.
You got no XP?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Oh, come on.
Well, I am number one, and I've now got 50 XP.
Where's Owain? We need Owain to improve the XP. Right, I'm going to move that to that window.
There you go.
You've got 1 XP. There we go.
Yeah, I've got 50 XP and I'm number one. That's what I care about, being number one with a crown.
Right. Okay, let's start the podcast.
Although it's quite...
Go again?
It is quite funny now. I'm Skycloth TV and film on there instead of Carl. It's like, hi.
You got to get a plug in, haven't you? Right.
Yeah.
Let's start.
Max Verstappen has taken the checkered flag to win. That was absolutely brilliant. No, Sergio Perez is giving it everything. Oh no, Maggie, that was so not right.
Oh my God.
Goes Leclerc, through goes Hamilton. Unbelievable stuff. And into each other goes Valtteri Bottas and Sergio Perez.
Bottas took out Rosberg and Perez.
And at the back, that's George Russell out of this race. Daniel Ricciardo makes contact there with Kevin Magnussen, and there's a second contact.
I'm going to start with, I forgot to tell you something.
Okay, go for it.
I've got chickens.
You've got chickens.
3 of them.
Nice.
I've got 3 chickens. One called Maxine after Stranger Things. One called Keely because that's where my in-laws come from. Keel. And one called Nugget.
Oh, bless.
So I've got chickens. I forgot to tell you that. You asked
Well,
me if there was any news, and I've got chickens.
Wow, that's an interesting. Yeah. I
Well,
didn't.
how can
I
we
didn't expect that.
Chickens into Formula One? Well,
the drivers were all chicken for not driving in the wet.
Don't even
Right.
start.
Okay. Before we start, right. Scale of 1 to 10. How offended were you by the Belgian Grand Prix?
Like with 10 being the most, about 1 billion. I am so over this Grand Prix. I'd well, I don't. Do you know what I was thinking? Fuck, should we even do a podcast? Because all it's going to be is about me moaning about everything about how awful the Belgian Grand Prix is.
I don't know if you saw, but I watched the race.
Shit.
I watched the race on a delay, as I often do.
Oh, I watched the race on a delay, like that night.
Yeah. But I when I came on the Grid Talk chat, first thing I said was, I don't know if you saw this, but the first thing I said was, right, I've only just caught up now. This is like it's 7 o'clock or something. Yeah. I said, let me guess. It was Carl moaning about the rain and Belgium in general, and no one agreeing with him.
Yeah.
And then Owen was like, pretty much, yeah.
Oh, what a pile of wank of a track. I am so over it.
Well, you're allowed to be wrong, and I'll allow you to be wrong. It's fine.
Once every 2 years. No, sorry. The track is fine. The track is fine. If you put that track into the plains of Silverstone, not a problem. Do you know what I mean?
Well, it would be because there wouldn't have any elevation. It'd be
right, yeah, but you know what I mean. If you put the elevations, but you put it about 1,000 foot lower. Do you know what I mean? That would help it. Like, it's just pointless. Why would you have a track up in the mountains that isn't a rally circuit? I mean, although many did try and make it a rally circuit. Why would you bother? Like, and every other year we have the same problem. It is so boring. And even that track, nothing happens on it. There's never anything exciting that happens on that track. apart from when it rains and then they stop the track race because we don't use wet tires because
we have been
quite. But I get bored of that.
We have been quite unlucky, I have to say, in recent years. Like Belgium has had some fantastic races over the years, but realistically, like today,
I think it's the cars. I genuinely think it's the cars now. It's not. I think intrigued as to whether it's going to be any better next year.
It will. It genuinely will. I'm not saying it's going to be transformative, but it will be slightly better because the problem at the moment is you've got those wet tires that are shifting 85 liters of water per second per tire into the air, which is then hanging in the trees.
Wet tires? They don't even use them.
Yeah, no, but what I'm saying is if they're using those, then the spray, the problem is not the cars. The problem is the spray. We don't have cars aquaplaning. The only times we have cars going off track because of the conditions are when they're asking the car to do too much in the conditions, i.e. through Eau Rouge and Radion, and then going onto the Kemmel Straight, that obviously horrendously dangerous part of the track in the wet. So, like, I get it, but the tyres are not the problem. The problem is the spray, and the only thing you can do about that is reducing the spray somehow, or like they have trialed various different things. Now I'm sure there must be some kind of way that we can mandate some kind of aero package that has to be fitted in wet conditions. When the track is deemed wet, everybody has to make a pit stop. Did you not say
something that attaches to the tire?
I'm sure they could do something where you've got sort of, because we used to have it with the wheel spinners. Like on the tires themselves, there's something you can do with that would hook around the car, connect to part of the bodywork. It would mean that the tire stops obviously would take longer. You might have 7 or 8 seconds for a tire stop.
But then they mandate, you could almost build that in. Do you know, everyone has to go onto wets. Everyone's now got an 8-second pit stop. You know? You like within 3 laps, everyone must stop for wet tires. And then if you have some kind of like aerodynamically designed skirt that goes kind of round the wheels and round the back of the car, so that when the spray comes from the underside of the car, it then hits and dissipates to the side. It does mean that you would have a drying racing line, and then offline will be horrendously wet. You would have that, but every time someone goes offline, or we just get rid of Spa and we just get and we don't have to worry.
But I just mean in general, because we have the same problem.
We have the same problem with Silverstone when it rains.
Well, not so much Silverstone because it's flat, and because
it has place to go.
Because there's no trees where you just have the rain hanging in the mist in the air. Once it clears, it does clear, and it does clear quite quickly. So it's just then it doesn't dry quickly. It does clear quickly though. So we get this problem. Like if this happens in Miami, it's no problem because the track's dry in 10 minutes. So I don't think we have a problem there. I knew Owen would come in.
And to be fair, in Belgium, it did dry quite quickly. When the sun came out, it did dry quite quickly.
Yeah. Well, because they left it so long. I mean, we've got Owen who's bringing some science to it, no doubt. So it's water coming out from the surface, then coming out the fuse. So it's basically the ground effect is the issue.
The ground effect, isn't it? Yeah.
When the cars next year will still be ground effect cars, they're just not going to be like they're not going to be completely. They're not going to be as like intensely ground effect. So it's going to be better next year. It's not going to transform the situation.
It's so boring, like to have an hour stop just for that, and then to have quite a dull race after. That's where my problem is.
I think the race was fine, but the problem is if you start earlier, what are you gonna? Oh, Owen's got a 2. Owen's got 2 for XP. He's beating you.
So no, I'm number 1.
Oh yeah, sorry, it's number 2. Yeah, okay, that's fine.
He's number 2.
Anyway, I think if we start the race earlier, what do we get? Right? Yeah. People say, "Oh, start the race." Okay, that's fine. If we start the race earlier, instead of having 3 laps behind the safety car, we have 15 laps behind the safety car. Yeah. So, like, because it's still, I think as soon as the rain stops, you can then get back out on track.
Is there any other way that actually it's new track surfaces that can drain better?
I mean, was it what track was it? I've seen this. There's some track. I think it might even be in Austin. You know, there's tracks where they've got diamond cut grooves in the asphalt where it actually takes the water away from the track, so you're effectively driving over the water. It's still going to suck into the air with ground effect, because obviously that's how it works. But it will drain it away from the racing line more. But you've got the elevation, so it's not like the water's not going to run off the track anyway. But it's when it's pulled up in the air that's the problem.
I wonder if whether there is a type of tracking where you have a channel underneath and actually there's thousands of holes
Yeah.
that are minutely put in, and
I don't know if there's any way that we can.
something.
I don't know if there's any way we can use the solutions that they have in NASCAR and IndyCar, where they've got those tractors going around with massive drying apparatus on them.
Well, they did. They had tractors blowing this time.
I don't know. I didn't see that because I missed the entire stoppage because I was too busy watching my wife perform. So,
yeah. Well, so he said Owen fucking got number one now. Owen said Spa, funnily enough, is diamond ground, and the start finish straight down to Eau Rouge. But yeah, that's where it was driest. They're like, actually, I'm sure it was Piastri that said, yeah, that's the driest section. It's when they went up the hill that was the problem. And Eau Rouge is a problem anyway because all the water's going straight down that hill, straight onto the straight there. Like, I just feel like it's just another track that is just unsafe with the rain. It just makes boring races. No one can overtake on it at the moment with those cars. It's not fit for purpose in the sense of for those Formula One cars, like many other tracks. That doesn't mean that it's wrong, that it's not, that it's a bad track. It just means at the moment, that's one of the ones that just.
Well, look, we're never going to agree on that fact. That the fact is that we're never going to agree on that.
I think it is a good track. Don't get me wrong. If the cars were smaller and it didn't fucking rain every 10 minutes.
Yeah. So I think there's lots of good opportunities to overtake on that track. You can overtake into La Source at the start. It's possible to overtake into Eau Rouge, but it's suicidal. You can then overtake on the Kemble Straight. We've seen that you can pull an overtaking move sort of after pull on down towards the back part. You got the bus stop chicane as well. So there's plenty of places where you can overtake. But I don't think there are sections of the track that's problematic in the current regulation set. We need to see what happens next year as well. But there's to be honest, there's a lot of dead rubbers on this calendar at the moment. Spa, for me, when it comes to raceability, it's not a problem track. There's problems. The track is not perfect for current Formula One. I'll agree with you there. But let's be honest, the track's been in existence, for hundreds of years. So it's never going to be. It's not a purpose-built circuit, designed by Herman Tilke for Formula One. Yeah. So it's not perfect in that sense.
But then he also is making the Milan ring or whatever it is. So Madrid ring, the Mad ring. So let's not talk about that. And he also made Miami, didn't he?
Possibly. I'm not even sure he did, to be honest. I don't think Herman Tilke's making the tracks anymore. I know Carsten Tilke has been doing quite a few of them.
It was Carsten
Tilke did Saudi Arabia, which, let's be honest, like, I was petrified the first few years of Saudi Arabia, but it's turned out like there's not been any major issues. I think Schumacher split a car in half once, but that's Mick Schumacher. So but it's not been horrendous, and it is actually quite a good circuit to watch racing on. So like I'm for his track designs at the moment, to be honest. I think, and Baku was his first one, and that's been, proven to be very good. Yeah, it's not perfect, but it's good. So I quite like Carsten Tilke's approach to
with Baku and Saudi Arabia, he's only got what he's got. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not that it's even just the undulation of the countryside. It's the fact that he's got buildings in the way and God knows what else that he has to think about.
Yeah. Well, should we talk about the race a little bit? Because
because it was fucking boring.
Yeah, you've set your soil. I don't think it was boring. I think there was a lot going on. We saw Hamilton coming through from the back, which was
in a car that shouldn't have been there, and he fucked up during the qualifying.
Yeah, he did.
Let's not get whoever part that he was driver of the day needs to fucking get common sense.
Yeah, but driver of the day, yes. The fact that he did a shit job on. He did a shit.
He wasn't driving.
He wasn't. He wasn't my driver of the day.
Albon.
Yeah, he wasn't my driver of the day, but he did do a good race day. Like his Friday and Saturday was shit, but his Sunday was good. You're saying driver of the day here.
He's got a faster car and sits at the back.
Okay.
And then everyone's going, "Oh yeah, well done," and getting to the front. What the fuck? The guy was up there at the front anyway.
So the problem was So he came in. He was given a wet setup, which helped obviously in the wet conditions because he qualified so far down. That then got him up to 7th place, but then he couldn't get past Albon, who was running less wings, so he couldn't get past it.
Driving today, if he can't get past fucking Albon, who's in a shitter car.
Okay, but you look at other people: Antonelli, Alonso, Sainz. Not Sainz; he was in a higher downforce setup. But other people who started, Lance Stroll, who is good in the rain as well. Let's not take that away from him. These drivers
can't take away from him.
Yeah, these drivers who started at the back, the same as Hamilton, on a wet setup, the same as Hamilton, they didn't progress. He did. And some of those moves he was pulling off at the start.
He's also in a faster, better car than any of those that you mentioned.
Yes, but he still made those moves count. You've got Antonelli is in a car that is every bit as fast as the Ferrari.
Antonelli, come on, Albon. You're doing so well, mate. Come on. Come on, Albon.
You're desperate.
Keep being shit.
You're desperate.
Keep being shit, Antonelli. He's not that far off anymore. He is not that far off.
He still is. So. He still is. I'm going to have to put that on my battle forecast because the spreadsheet has had a bit of an upgrade.
Oh, is it?
So I've got some more functionality on it now. So now my standings all work out automatically, so I don't have to keep copying and pasting that. And I've got a Wikipedia style overview of the
9 points behind Antonelli.
Is he that
Albon
close?
Is 9 points.
Close?
54.
He is 9 points. He is, yeah. I still don't think
Antonelli doing a DNA and him getting a what is it?
He got 8. I think he got 8 points.
Yeah, get him up to 5th on a shocker of a 5th or something, and he'll.
I mean, there's 11 races to go, so it's less than a point a race.
Yeah. So, and there is a chance, Yeah.
Do you want to hear something funny? Right?
Yeah.
It's mathematically impossible for any driver or team to be out of the championship hunt in the first half of the season. Correct? Because you've got the second half to go. Yeah. So mathematically, it's impossible for any team to be out of that fight before the halfway point in the season. Yeah. Right? We're one race beyond that halfway point.
Yeah.
At the next race, Alpine will more than likely be out of the Constructors' Championship.
Oh, wow.
That's how bad their season is. 20 points to McLaren's 516. So they're 496 points behind. There are 518 points left to play for.
Wow.
Which means after the next race, if McLaren continue in their current vein level 1-2 and Alpine get a low number of points, they are out of the championship before the summer break. That must be unprecedented. That has to be unprecedented.
Even to be fair on Alpine, they've got points this season.
20.
Yeah, but still.
That's less points than Piastri got this week.
2 years ago.
Yeah, but that's less points than Norris got this weekend.
Yeah.
Norris points. Yeah. Williams got basically that number of points this weekend themselves, or just under that. So that is horrendous.
Yeah.
But yes, there were seasons where Haas got 0 points, but you didn't have McLaren's winning 10 out of the 13 races.
Yeah,
and both and all the sprints.
And 1-2s.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the amount of 1-2s that's the strong thing. It's not the winning, because Red Bull won every single race.
Well, most of them,
except for one.
Yeah, Singapore in 2023. Yeah. But they 516 points.
But they weren't 1-2. That's the problem. They need to be 1-2.
Yeah, but that's because Perez was in the other car.
Yeah.
Also Red Bull and second car. So. Yeah. So now looking at the battle forecast I have here for the Constructors' Championship, second place Mercedes. Is it Mercedes the second?
No, Ferrari.
That's Ferrari. Why does that still have Mercedes there then? Oh, no, there you go. I've got it. No, it's fine. Second place Ferrari need to outscore McLaren by 22.5 points per race weekend to catch them.
So they have to win and drop out.
There's 40 odd points available per weekend. So that's, it's possible, but not likely. Red Bull need to outscore McLaren by 30 points a weekend.
Yeah. So they have to win
points.
Every single race.
1-2.
Have to be.
They need 1-2 with McLaren only scoring 5 or 6 points.
Yeah. That's been someday.
Not going to happen. And just
I think, to be honest, I think this is it now. And maybe Mercedes and Ferrari could swatch her over.
Yeah.
And maybe kicks Albon Racing Bulls.
Red Bull are as far behind Mercedes as Mercedes are behind Ferrari.
But Red Bull are definitely just going to stay in fourth. There's no way
it looks that way. Yeah.
I
I think Tsunoda will have a better second half of the season. Williams, I think they've got enough to hang on to
fifth.
To fifth. I think
Which
they've
is,
got
fair compared to where they finished last year.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they've got some. They're not going to bring any more upgrades, but they've got enough to hang on to, I think.
Yeah.
And then you've got Sauber, Racing Bulls, Aston Martin, Haas, Alpine. So I think Alpine will.
I
think
feel
Alpine
Haas should have done better this season. I don't know why they're so far down. And I think it is because Ollie Behrman keeps just getting 11ths.
Yeah, well, Haas, like, if everything works well, Haas should be last. Like, let's be honest, they are the smallest team, the smallest budget.
Yeah.
They should be last. There is no way Alpine should be behind them. So I think Alpine will Alpine score 15 points in the second half of the season? I think they will. So I think they'll catch Haas.
Well, it depends if they swap drivers again.
Yeah, I don't think they will. I think they'll stick with Colapinto.
Why?
I think they should do. Like, they shouldn't have got rid of Doohan.
No.
And now that the Colapinto's in, I don't think they should get rid of Colapinto. They need to give him the chance. Either that or put Doohan back in. Like, Doohan deserves.
It's quite funny. Like, you never hear of Colapinto on any of the track, on any of you never hear of him. Like, you never hear of him in the interviews. I think they're just keeping him a low profile because he's just a dick.
Unless they're going to do like rent a seat just to get some money in between now and the end of the season, I don't think they're going to take Colapinto out. I think that the rumours of Bottas taking over that seat for the second half of the season seem to have died down a little bit. I think he may have signed for Cadillac, and then they probably wouldn't.
Yeah, like, it was interesting that sort of Nico thing.
Yeah, I didn't see that, but
con him into it. Nico was trying to con him into it. Good, congratulations on getting to Cadillac. And he's just going to go, sorry, what? Sorry, say again? I can't hear you. I can't hear you. But do you think it's going to be him and I think
Perez? I think that would make the most sense from
it's a very senior team.
Yeah, it's an experienced driver lineup. It's basically the two most recent number 2 drivers for top teams. And then it would be I think Bottas is the better out of the two, but Perez will bring budget. He will bring sponsorship to that team. What would be interesting
as to whether they bring a newbie in like Dunn.
I don't think they will. I think that Dunn's good.
I
know you're going to be supporting Dunn, obviously.
But I so want Dunn to get second. I don't want him floating for a season. I think it would be a bad idea, and I think we need to see where the new regs are on Formula One, because otherwise he'll end up in Formula E and just vanish off to nowhere.
Well,
and he's a great driver. He just keeps getting fucked with technicals.
I think. Absolutely. I mean, he won at the weekend, didn't he? But he got disqualified.
And then got disqualified. No, he didn't get disqualified.
Oh no, he got
grid penalty for a technical infringement in the startup procedure.
Yes, I heard about that.
I don't even know what that means. And I was like, what does that mean?
I don't know if it's driver or technical, but then it said Lindblad had been promoted to the win. And then later on, Lindblad got disqualified.
Yeah, disqualified, yeah.
So it was, I can't remember who it was now. It wasn't Fornaroli, it was something else. I can't remember who it was now.
But it's so tight in the front F2. I know we're talking about F2 here.
Yeah, well, that's fine. We can talk about
F2. But it's so tight in that top 4 that had he won, he would have gone up to number 1. He would have been leading the championship.
Yeah, Dunn would have been leading the championship,
because he didn't win,
he's now 4th.
He's now in 4th.
Yeah.
Like, that's how tight and how bad those points are. We've only got 2 more races left, though.
Yeah.
But
the thing is, you look at it,
there's such a fight between Bashir, Fornaroli, Crawford and Dunn.
I would quite like for sure to win.
In there as well. Sorry, as well.
I would quite like for sure to win because it's going to be his last year in F2. He's like the perennial yardstick of Formula 2. He's been there about 5 years.
Dunn to come second, and then Dunn to have another year and win next year.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you've got to take the chance when it's there. It didn't really do Piastri any harm sitting on the sideline for a year, did it?
Yeah, but like it's the problem is he's a McLaren driver.
Yeah, he's not going to go anywhere with McLaren.
That's the problem. What does he do? He's it's now getting out of that contract to go somewhere sensible. And McLaren is a very good support network for where he is now. Don't get me wrong. It's not the wrong choice to be in McLaren.
But McLaren has
what
got
does he
so
do?
many drivers just like queuing up, waiting to go
Yeah.
in there. Like they've got IndyCar drivers, like
Yeah.
Lundgaard is doing really well in IndyCar. They've got O'Ward that's second in the championship there as well. So they've got great drivers that all want to drive in F1, just queuing up, waiting to
So
get
what
in.
does if whoever wins next year, even if it's for sure, where do they go at the moment?
Well,
Like,
for sure's not going to go anywhere. We know that he's basically he's got a professional racing driver career elsewhere, but he won't be in Formula One. For sure's been in F2 like 5-6 years or something. He's the most experienced driver ever in Formula Two. So he's just. I think this is just his final hurrah, just to kind of try and get the win. But it's done. I think rather than spend a couple of €1 million knocking around in Formula Two next year, I think it would be good for him to be doing a little bit of racing elsewhere and getting himself entrenched in McLaren, learning the race processes, but provided he can get something
at the moment. Who's McLaren's test driver?
I think they've actually got a deal where they've got Van Dorn and Drugovic, I think, are their test drivers because they're
part of the Mercedes.
Part of the Mercedes thing. I think Bottas is on their reserve list as well because he's Mercedes reserve.
I think if they've got any sense, McLaren will pull Dunn to being a reserve driver.
Yeah,
and actually get him sitting there, and where he goes, he could go into Mercedes in the future. He could go into Aston Martin once. What's his name drops out,
Aston Martin will be Honda. So I think it will probably more likely to be Alpine that he might get into because of because Alpine will be Mercedes powered from next year.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Sorry, Mercedes powering a Renault engine. Okay, Renault.
Yeah, Renault are dropping their engine, aren't they? They're going to be a customer from next year. Yeah, so Alpine are going to be Mercedes powered next year, and Aston Martin are going to be Honda powered next year.
Okay.
So I think it's more likely to be Alpine than Aston Martin.
But taking him away from that Mercedes world, Aston Martin will have space more than anyone else. Bearing in mind the two drivers they have, you've got one who is not going to last that much longer, couple of years.
I already think he's past his prime. We've seen that by how close Stroll is getting to him now.
Yeah, a couple of years.
I mean, he's been past his prime for about 10 years.
Stroll is not a young chicken and is injured. He's still injured. Let's call it what it is. Yeah. And isn't really in it for winning. I don't know. He's there. I don't quite know whether Daddy wants him in there or whether he wants Daddy's money to put him in there. I can't quite work that one out. It feels like, at the moment, it feels like Lance Stroll wants Lance Stroll in there rather than Lance Stroll wants to be in there.
Oh, that's always been the case. Stroll I don't think he's got that drive, that determination, that hunger for it because he hasn't had to fight for it. I think it's like, do you want to be an F1 driver? Yeah, why not? I don't think he's not worried about it. It's if he lost, I mean, apparently he could have been a professional tennis player as well. And it's like, that was kind of more where his talent was, but Daddy wants him to be a Formula One driver. So it's kind of more like that. I mean, I don't think he doesn't want it, but I just don't think he wants it as much as other people. And there comes a time when you're just getting so much hate. And I don't want the guy to get hate, obviously. But
I don't hate Stroll. I don't care. That's the problem. And he doesn't. That's the thing. We don't.
The only thing I'll say is I don't want Lance Stroll to ever win a race. That's my one thing. I'm fine with him being in Formula One because he's a decent driver, but he's not a race winning driver talent, and I don't want him to ever win a race. So, because I think that would just skew the statistics a little bit. So that's my bias there. I just don't want him to win a race. But
but with where was Stroll? Stroll was 14th. Alonso behind him, which was interesting.
It's just the first half of the season didn't really. Alonso just didn't really care, I don't think, and there was just the car was so terrible. Stroll got a bit of luck in there as well, but Alonso has shown since sort of race 5 or 6 that he's been performing better. He just hasn't had the luck. They really screwed their strategy.
That's hilarious. I was actually looking at the Spa racing results.
Yeah. And
it still made sense what you said. Stroll at the race finished 14th, Alonso 17th.
Yeah.
Hulkenberg, Oliver Behrman, once again, is the 11th,
Yeah.
The one that holds
I think he must have the most 11th places. In fact, let me just have a quick
No,
look at
sorry, that was a statistic that was saying that our old friend came up with. He is the person that's joint now with having the most consecutive places.
4.
in most consecutive places in the race, or the positions in a race.
Yeah.
Ever. I think it's 4 of them, and obviously
it must be 11th places, because you've got people that have won like 5-6 races in a row. So, but yeah. So looking at this,
or the most consecutive 11ths in a season or something. There's maybe some fact about that,
possibly, but because of my lovely new spreadsheet. This is Behrman's finishing positions: 14th, 8th, 10th, 10th, 13th, non-classified, 17th, 12th, 17th, 11th, 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 11th. So we got 3 points finishes in a row: China, Japan, and Bahrain. And then he's
that was it. Apart from number 1, that was it. Apart from number 1s,
okay,
he's the most consecutive in one position.
Yeah,
that was it.
Yeah, well, there we go. And then in the sprints, what's he done in the sprints? Where are you, Mr. Behrman? Where are you? Behrman, there we are. 15th, 14th, and then 7th. Yeah, 15th, 14th, and 7th. So he's got some points in the sprint.
How did I generally forget we had a sprint?
Yeah.
Because it was dull. Nothing happened in the sprint even.
He's been 9 Grand Prix without a point. Max Verstappen got Piastri on turn 1, and that was the only overtake in the race, pretty much.
Proving my point. People were bitching about, Ruby, I'm going to call you out. We're bitching about Singapore being the worst place for a sprint.
No, to be fair, sprints in general, you don't see a lot of overtaking in, but what it adds to the weekend, like the sprint itself is never.
I love a sprint. I
actually do. I love.
Spa was probably the worst one. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. My problem with sprints in Spa is because people don't want to take too many risks because they got qualifying a few hours later. And if you're going to have a crash in Spa, you're going to have a crash. It's going to be a big repair job. So they don't want to take the risk, not for the sake of 1 extra point. So
I think they should put the sprint on the Friday and then just have qualifying on the Saturday.
They won't for money. They won't get enough viewers to put the sprint on a Friday. So it will always be on Saturday. I think it's fine. I think I like this setup the way it is.
Yeah.
I genuinely I think what the sprint adds to the weekend.
I was just trying to think of other ways.
What the sprint adds to the weekend, actually, forget about the racing in the sprint.
Yeah.
What by having the sprint, by meaning that they only get the 1 practice session and then straight into a competitive session, then Parc Fermé is opened up ready for qualifying, which means people can then change something in a Hail Mary attempt without being able to test it. Mm-hmm. I really like that. Yeah. That element means that you get a different qualifying. Sprint qualifying is not just a complete replay.
Tires.
Yeah. So which helps the sustainability cause as well. I would like to see Formula One go to a single wet tire, just one somewhere in the middle of the intermediate and the wet. To then, why are we carrying these wet tires around everywhere? Just go to a slightly more conservative intermediate tire that's got a bit more tread depth to it, because we're not going to race into full wet anyway. So just get rid of it. And then that's a huge saving on tires as well. I would rather see that personally, but there we go. That's just me on my soapbox.
Talking about tires, okay. So did Norris do the right thing to go onto hards, or should he have gone onto mediums?
Yes, he did the right thing to be on hards, because there was nothing else he could have done. Okay. That was his only chance to win, because Piastri was through. So I don't see a problem with that. I think that's fine. That works. But
well, to be fair, Piastri deserved that win.
Yes. No, to be honest, all roads led to Piastri winning that race. There was no scenario, I don't think. If you say, well, why didn't we do a standing start? Piastri still wins. Why didn't we start earlier? Piastri still wins. Yeah. If Norris had kept the lead at the start, I think Piastri still wins. I don't think anything. I think
Norris.
The problem is
Piastri stay on track. Piastri is so planted.
Piastri underperformed in qualifying. there was no reason for Norris to beat Piastri in qualifying because Piastri had the measure of him all weekend, but he just underperformed in qualifying and Norris got it.
Yeah.
If you look at the breakdown, Piastri's Q3 lap, I think there was some kind of stat. His Q3 lap was slower than his Q2 lap.
Yeah,
I'm sure it was. Let me have a quick look on the standings here because I do have this.
but like, I just don't think.
Yeah, so Piastri's Q2 time, down to the 10th of a second, I've only got it down to the 10th, was the same as his Q3 time, whereas Norris's Q3 time was a 10th quicker. So I've only got it down to 1 decimal place. So I haven't got it down to 3. But his Q3 time was within a 10th of his Q2 time, whereas Lando's was better. So that's the difference. He didn't make that step in Q3, whereas Lando did. And then that's what gave Lando pole.
Yeah. I think Oscar deserved that win. And he's so much planted. He's such a smoother driver. Norris is all over the place. He's always like that. Like, as much as I love Norris, I'm British bias there. But what I don't like, what is interesting is just how erratic Antonelli drives. Have you noticed this?
Well, he's 18.
I don't care how old he is. It could be 12.
What's his erratic? He's 18.
He's just like this. He spins his hands around. Like, I'm just like, there's no smoothness there. And he's like this constantly. Well, like
some drivers,
like a small child. And like Max is a bit like that.
Some drivers drive through their hands, other drivers drive through their feet. Like if you look at Jenson Button was always said to be incredibly smooth, but to be honest, his driving was through his feet and his bum. So like he would feel it through his ass and then would drive with his feet and then would keep things smooth on the steering wheel. You look at drivers like Verstappen and Hamilton, they're much more through the wheel.
Yeah.
Through the driving. So it's just a driving style.
You watch. No, Antonelli is so... I mean, you watch Antonelli. He is so twitchy. He's like a deer caught in headlights. So, not in deer caught in headlights. I'm trying to think of something twitchy. A fly that you go near and he's like, fuck! I need to move over there. Like, he's so twitchy. And it's just like, I generally still don't think that he's the driver everyone thinks he is. But,
I think he's in F1 a year too early.
Don't get me wrong.
I think he's in F1 a year too early. That's all it is. Like he's not ready for F1 yet. But
it just feels like he hasn't spent enough time in a Formula One car, if that makes sense. And
he's had a lot of TPC running, so he's been quite well prepared. But I just think he's too young at the moment. He doesn't quite have the racing maturity.
But it's almost like he gets scared when any other car comes near him, and that or he comes up to another car, and that his driving just then gets really twitchy. I'm not talking about him just going round a corner. He can do that. It's when anyone comes near him, you can feel him tensing up almost. And I was saying this to Laura. Whoever Oscar Piastri's sports psychologist is needs to be paid more, because the mentality of Oscar and that calmness of everything must play. And there is a bit of personality in that, but there must be some sports psychology stuff going on in there.
When I was I did the review for Grid Talk, and Jonah Gould was on with me, and he described Piastri as a borderline alien. Which is just like I can see that. Yeah, that's 100% correct. So no, I completely get that.
Something odd, but he's just so calm and so collected. Even his driving style and his personality, he doesn't really get twitchy, or he doesn't get to. Well, Antonelli, and Tsunoda obviously get twitchy at the slightest thought of anything. They're all over the place. But so who was your driver of the day?
I was just thinking that. I think, I don't know, like,
bearing in mind, Williams, Albon ended up in 6th, Lawson ended up in 8th, and Bortoletto ended up in 9th.
Bortoletto had a stunning weekend. We haven't really spoken about it. He had a really good weekend. He was comprehensively the better driver all weekend. It's a breakout performance from him. So I think that's a really strong performance from him.
He was stuck behind Hulk, and he passed Hulk and then made up 2 places.
Behrman was screwed a bit by Haas strategy. They were a bit flat-footed.
Normal life. Behrman is Behrman has a future. It's just not in Haas. And
Gasly had a really good race, I thought.
Yeah.
I think for me, I said it on Grid Talk.
Taking Portoletto.
Yeah. I said it on Grid Talk. I think I'll stick with the same one. I actually will go with Charles Leclerc because his rearguard action against Max Verstappen was phenomenal in that first stint. We didn't really talk about it much, but his performance in that first stint was incredible. Ferrari,
and I think that's the first time we even mentioned Max.
Yeah, Ferrari very marginal with their pit stop, letting him out in front of Albon before Albon came in for his stop. It's very, very marginal, but just close enough. Avoided a penalty, and that kept him ahead of Max. And then Max was the quicker driver. Yeah. But he couldn't get past, and I think that was a phenomenal performance from Leclerc. So I'm going to stick with Leclerc for driver of the day. While you do your driver of the day, I need to think about who my dick of the day is.
Albon is definitely my driver of the day. He stopped Hamilton getting past for a long time. It wasn't like it was a short period. He was out of place. He shouldn't have been sixth in that car, especially when his teammate ended up in 18th. But I mean, he did an amazing weekend. In general, I think. I can't remember where he ended up in sprint. I don't think he did that well in sprint. But
Albon, he started quite low in sprint, didn't he? Yeah. His Albon was 16th in the sprint.
Yeah. But from the Grand Prix weekend, he was very good.
Yes.
And deserved 8 points. So I think, I'll go with him.
Yeah. Dick of the day. I don't think any of the drivers for me were dick of the day. I think everyone did really well. Nobody was.
Sorry, there's only one dick of the day for me.
Oh, okay. Go on.
Spa.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
There's only one. They're like the weather, and Spa, and wet tires. I mean, any of those, quite happily.
I'm trying to. I can't really think of a dick, to be honest.
No one did anything annoying. They all got around clean. No one left in the sprint. No one did anything.
Maybe Hamilton for just underperforming in both qualifying sessions.
But that wasn't a dick move. That was just being useless. No one was a real dick that you thought, yeah. No, everyone played really nicely. Like when George overtook Albon, I mean, that was just poetry in motion by both of them, and very sensible. Yeah. And even Norris and Piastri on the first lap were courteous to each other.
Yeah.
So,
do you know what? I'm going to give Lando Norris my dick of the day because he threw away a great position. And because I love him so much, that makes him a dick in my eyes. So, why do we always hurt the ones we love the most?
Yeah.
So,
there we go.
It's so hard being a Lando Norris fan. It's really difficult. But there we go. If he does win the championship, then
not going to happen.
Yeah, probably not. But yeah, as long as he's in the fight, I'm happy. I just don't give up. Like second half of the season, if he can come out and win Hungary, then that's great going into the summer break. He can reset and then carry on, and then we'll see what happens after that. So I'm just fingers crossed for Lando Norris winning Hungary.
Yeah.
And then we'll.
I mean, it's a good fight, and I'm liking it, but my money's on Oscar at the moment.
Do got to say though, I just have to absolutely congratulate McLaren on the way that they are handling this fight.
Yeah.
Like everyone talks about, I say this as well. Like when Red Bull are winning championships, it's guaranteed to be Max Verstappen. No one else is going to win it. Blah blah blah. Dead easy. When Mercedes were winning championship after championship, they let their drivers race, and I applauded that. But what McLaren are doing are absolutely next level. They are actually pitting their drivers and the support team against each other. Like the race engineers are allowed to do separate strategies. They're saying how to beat their teammate. They're saying, Oscar's slower here. You can attack him here. Come on, let's get him. Like in the past, with Mercedes, it was always whoever gets to turn one first, they're going to get preferential treatment. You're not allowed separate strategies. You have to do the same strategy. You have to pass on track, and it has to be clean. And none of it. Whereas, like McLaren will quite happily undercut a driver if the race engineer says, "Right, we can go for the undercut." They'll do it.
Yeah,
and I'm applauding the way that they have rules of engagement. And the team, what they won't do is they will not inconvenience each other. Like it won't be one of these.
Slightly change at the end of the season, but I'm glad that
I don't think it will. because it's not
they're
going
not
to
going
cost
to fight to
anything.
the end. They're not going to fight to the end.
Yeah, they will, because the Constructors' Championship is done. They're not gonna take points off each other and then end up losing a Constructors' Championship. It's a fight between two drivers for the Drivers' Championship. But I just need to say, well done, McLaren, for actually letting them race, and not only letting them race competitively. It's not just a case of it's not just right. You have to have the same strategy, go out and race. Whoever's in first will stay there. They're actually letting them fight on track, which is phenomenal. So
I need to go and fight on my track.
Fantastic. Right.
Go.
Thanks, everyone. Right. Love you all. Bye.
Bye. Our range just pointed out that Alpine is behind 4 privateers as works team.
That is embarrassing.
That is embarrassing.
Absolutely.
I think that is embarrassing.
Yes.
Right, bye.
Embarrassing.